Hey everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we're going to look at an accessory for your A5 today. This is the CP drop forward adapter for the A5. If you're not familiar with your A5, or maybe you have one and you've never really kind of taken it apart because you're afraid to, or you don't have one and maybe you're thinking about getting one, a lot of people look at this setup at the bottom and they go, well, I'd like to maybe put something of my own on there. I want to put a different ASA, a drop forward. I want to put something else on this gun. How do I do that? Well, what you would do if you start exploring on your gun and you remove this screw from the bottom right here. So this one goes through the bottom of the grip frame and it holds this piece in place. This holds your ASA in place. If you pop this out, you'll notice that it doesn't look like any ASA that's on any other gun. It actually recesses into the grip frame and locks it in place that way. So you've got this funny cut on the bottom right here. And if you wanted to put some other ASA on there, drop forward, you can't because you have a giant hole now in the bottom of your grip. To solve that problem, CP has made an adapter that you can get that will take up that spot in the bottom, fills it up, uses the same screw that goes through there to lock it together, but then gives you two new holes on the bottom where you can put something on there. You can put just a standard ASA on there, a direct mount ASA. You could then put a drop forward on there, a direct mount, well, I don't call it a direct mount, but a drop forward that just mounts straight to the bottom of your grip frame. It gives you the holes there, so you really can do anything you want to the bottom of your gun at that point. Without this, you can't do anything but use this. Excuse me. So as you can see, the setup is quite simple to do it right there. I just pulled one screw out, I pulled that one out, put this one in, and I'm done with getting my setup ready. Now what you are gonna need to do at that point is you're either gonna have to figure out if this line setup that you have right here would work with whatever device you're putting at the bottom, or are you going to need to change out your line setup as well, which can get a little tricky at that point. The way they've run these lines up into here, this is part of the reducer that is right here. It does thread in, but it's very hard to get out. So if you're looking to change that, if you need to change this out, my best recommendation to you would be to change the reducer as well. Not necessarily try to use this reducer and remove this hose out of it, but you can buy a new reducer and then do your own line setup. Buy a reducer, do a macro fitting with macro line to the macro fitting on your gun. It'll make it much easier than trying to remove this out of here and reusing it. It is possible. There's a good chance you will damage or ruin this section that goes into the reducer, but it is possible. There's other ways to do it. But kind of on a tangent there, drop forward adapter, it's not necessarily for drop forwards. It just gives you the mounting base on your A5 so that you can put whatever you want on the bottom of it. It's handy. If you don't like this, which I know a lot of people don't, once they start adding a bunch of stuff to their gun, they want to change this because they just don't like the way it looks. And they don't like the line setup on the bottom maybe. When the gun hits the ground, they don't want to worry about damaging this if they were to dive in and the gun like comes down like that on there. You don't want to ruin your line setup in the middle of a game. So different reasons for wanting to do it, all of them, whether it be functional or personal or just because you like the way it looks, that's up to you. But they are available. It can be done. CP drop forward adapter for the A5, available through the website. Order yours now through ansgear.com.